Minutes ago, it was officially announced that Simon Ekpa has been sentenced to 6 years in prison by a Finnish court. Yes, you heard that right. A leader who has been at the center of so many controversies in Nigeria's southeast now faces this major legal decision overseas. So here's the background. Simon Ekpa, originally from Ebonyi state in Nigeria, lives in Finland where he holds citizenship. He has been known for his role in the separatist movement tied to the formally recognized region of Biafra, and for his actions which the court in Finland has judged to be criminal. According to the official statement, the Finnish court found him guilty of multiple offenses: participating in the activities of a terrorist organization, public incitement to commit a crime with terrorist purpose, aggravated tax fraud, and violating legal ethics. These aren't small charges. They are serious. And the sentence of 6 years reflects that. Let's unpack why this matters. Ekpa's group and his leadership have been linked with efforts to push for the independence of Biafra through what authorities describe as illegal means. He has been accused of supplying weapons, explosives, and ammunition via his contact network to armed elements in Nigeria's southeast. This means the case is not just about politics or rhetoric. It crosses into security, law enforcement, and international cooperation. Now pause for a moment and think about the implications. For Nigeria, this sentencing sends a message. The government and security services have long labeled Ekpa and his associates as wanted for terrorism-related offenses. With Finland handing down this sentence, it shows that international jurisdictions will act even when the person is operating partly abroad. For the Southeast region, this may be seen as a turning point in the separatist struggle. But there's more. Some groups in the Southeast have already distanced themselves from Ekpa. They are saying their struggles or movements are different, or at least they don't want to be linked to the level of violence or alleged terror acts for which Ekpa has now been found guilty. That shift could mean internal fractures in that movement, and that in turn may change how things play out on the ground. Here's why you should pay attention. First, if you are in the Southeast region or you follow Nigerian national security and politics, this is a big development because the situation there hasn't been calm. It involves government, armed groups, civil protests, sit-at-home orders, and community disruption. Ekpa himself has been part of that narrative. Second, the sentencing abroad underscores that transnational activism and alleged crime won't always stay invisible. Nations are working together. Third, the ripple effects. What will this mean for the region's economy, for the community life in the Southeast, for the youth who may have been drawn into the movement? All big questions. Now let's talk about what might happen next. Ekpa or his legal team may appeal this decision. We already know that his loyalists claim they will challenge the verdict. So the story is far from over. If the case is appealed, the process could drag on. Meanwhile, what happens on the ground in Nigeria might shift. Security operations may intensify. The state may feel emboldened. The separatist movement might reconfigure. Also, regular citizens in the Southeast may feel relief or fear. Relief because one alleged instigator is removed from the scene. Fear because power vacuums often lead to new challenges. Let's also insert a broader point. This isn't just about one man. It's part of the complex mix of Nigeria's history with Biafra, secession, civilian unrest, economic disruption. For example, sit-at-home orders in the region, and the legal and moral responsibilities of activism when it crosses into violence. According to one estimate, the sit-at-home policy linked to the separatist movement cost the Nigerian economy trillions of naira. So when Ekpa is sentenced, many will see this as more than personal. It's structural. If I were to urge you viewers to keep an eye on the following: will Ekpa appeal, and what will the timeline be? How will the Nigerian government respond publicly and operationally? How will loyalists and followers react? Will there be violence, protests, or will they back away? What will community life in the Southeast look like in the coming weeks? Will there be calm, or will there be heightened security? How will this affect external perceptions of Nigeria's internal security and rule of law? And yes, before I continue, if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe so you don't miss updates, because I will follow this and bring you the next developments as soon as they surface. Now, after the Finnish court's decision to sentence Simon Ekpa to 6 years in prison, reactions have been pouring in from across Nigeria and even from Nigerians abroad. Some people are celebrating it, saying, finally justice is catching up. Others are still defending him, calling the sentence unfair and politically motivated. But whichever side people take, one thing is clear. The news has shaken many who have followed his activities online. Let's talk about what has been happening on the ground in the Southeast since this broke out. According to multiple community sources, many residents in parts of Imo, Anambra, and Ebonyi are hopeful that this will reduce the weekly sit-at-home order and violence linked to pro-Biafra activities. For years now, people couldn't open their shops on Mondays because of fear of attacks. Students couldn't go to school freely. Businesses lost billions. So now, some are quietly praying that with Ekpa out of action, things will finally calm down. But at the same time, there are fears. Some groups that had been loyal to him might want to show strength, maybe by enforcing more sit-at-home orders or by releasing new online videos claiming to still be in control. We've seen that pattern before. When one major leader is taken out, others try to prove they're still powerful. So security agencies are said to be on high alert in the Southeast. Now, let's look at the reactions from leaders. A few traditional rulers and religious leaders have called for calm. They're urging the youth not to see this as a call for more trouble, but as an opportunity to rebuild peace and stability. Even some Igbo socio-cultural groups have said that the focus should now shift from agitation to dialogue and development. They want the government to seize this moment to invest more in the region. Better roads, electricity, and employment, so that young people won't be easily drawn into violent movements. Please, if you're still watching, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps this channel grow so we can keep bringing you real stories like this, straight from the source. Now, another angle that's making headlines is the international one. Many Nigerians are surprised that Finland, a country far away, actually followed through and prosecuted Ekpa. This shows that even when someone operates online, far from home, their activities can still catch up with them if they cause harm in another country. It also means that governments are now paying closer attention to online activities that could trigger violence or unrest in other nations. Remember, a lot of Simon Ekpa's directives were issued online through social media broadcasts. That's how he reached thousands of followers back home. This raises a very important question for the digital age. How far can freedom of speech go before it becomes incitement or crime? That's what many people are now debating online. Some say he was only expressing political views. Others say he went beyond talk, that he used his influence to encourage violent actions. And that's exactly what the Finnish court looked at before giving the sentence. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, government officials haven't said much yet. There's been no official statement from the presidency or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But some lawmakers and commentators are calling on the government to use this as a chance to calm the region and open talks with peaceful groups who want development instead of conflict. The idea is that when one loud voice is gone, it might be time to give room for sensible dialogue. Now, let's talk about how this affects ordinary people. For the average person in the Southeast, what they want is simple: peace and progress. They want to go to work without fear. They want their children to go to school. They want to travel safely. Many say they never supported violence in the first place. They only wanted fairness and development. So this new development might give some breathing space. But it also depends on how leaders, both in government and in the region, handle things from here. If you're following this gist so far, please make sure you like this video and subscribe, because we're breaking it down in simple terms so everyone can understand what's really happening. Now, let's take a short look back at Simon Ekpa's journey because understanding where he came from helps us understand how we got here. He rose to prominence after the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB. Ekpa positioned himself as the voice of the struggle from abroad. At first, many believed he was continuing the mission of Biafra independence in a peaceful way, but later things began to change. His messages became more militant, and soon after, reports of violent attacks started rising in the southeast. Many of those attacks were linked by security agencies to groups loyal to him. Over time, the tone of his broadcasts became even harsher. He would issue orders for sit at home, threaten political leaders, and call on followers to defend themselves. That's when Finnish authorities started monitoring him closely. The Nigerian government had repeatedly asked Finland to take action, and now that action has finally come. Though some say it took too long. This case also shows that no matter where you are, if your actions are linked to violence, you can still face justice, even outside your home country. It's a lesson for everyone using the internet to influence events back home. The world is smaller now, and accountability has gone global. So, as things stand, Simon Ekpa will be serving his sentence unless he wins an appeal. His political influence will likely reduce sharply, though we can expect that his supporters will still try to keep his message alive online. But the bigger question is, what next for the Southeast? Will there be peace, or will another figure rise to fill the vacuum